Welcome back, everybody, to Mega Man number 6. The one that I would say is the easy one, because it gives you a number of things. I guess I should read this. First annual tournament, robot tournament was held. 8 of the world's most powerful robots, not that one, but Mr. X, the sponsor of the tournament, took control of the robots and began to take over the world. Mega Man, Mr. X, why? It's time to tell you the truth. I've been manipulating that fool Dr. Wily from the beginning. But now I no longer need Wily's help. Come and face my power, Mega Man. We'll stop you. Follow me, Rush. So this is definitely the game that, if you haven't already realized it, we've gone beyond. We've tipped the balance. We've gotten past the point where you're fooling anybody as to who the real mastermind behind the, all this shit is. Like, I didn't even try in this game. Well, now, this game does do some interesting things. This Flame Man stage is pretty cool because what I'm walking in right now is essentially an oily substance. And because there's an oily substance I'm walking in, it can be lit on fire by these guys or other guys that may throw fire, which we're about to learn about. Not at this moment because I'm preventing them from doing that, but eventually someone will light stuff like that on fire, and you don't want to fall in there because that's instant death. So the reason I say this is the easiest Mega Man game is I actually think it truly is, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 bosses. I think it's just you've learned everything that you've already learned from Mega Man 3, how to slide, 4, how to use the Buster, and 5, sort of how to, I guess, do level design. So, or however you want to perceive 5. And this is, I don't think the levels are nearly as hard as previous Mega Man games. And then in addition, they give you upgrades. So instead of getting a Rush Jet, you get a thing that can attach to Mega Man. So now instead of having to worry about, managing your ammunition with Rush, they give you a limited amount of what Rush can do, but they kind of, in many ways, give you better versions of what Rush can do. Like, obviously, Rush Jet from Mega Man 3 is probably the best Rush Jet of any Mega Man game. So, like, I mean, it's fully controllable. You don't have to, it doesn't force you to go forward. It's about as good as it gets in terms of, being, really good for the player. And, oop, that's a mistake. I just got out of there barely in nick of time. But they give you two Rush upgrades, okay? Which in Mega Man 7 they give it back to you, but they combine both upgrades into one Rush upgrade, and they make you go hunt for. Oop, I died. They make you go hunt for the plates that put together this ultimate Mega Man / Rush combination. You don't have to get it in the game. It's completely optional, but it does help you out as you get further, or you get towards the end of the game, because it is pretty powerful. But anyways, get to my point. This game does a couple interesting things that I kind of like that I don't think we see again in another Mega Man, at least up through 7, maybe even 8. Fortunately never played 8. But this game, in some of the stages, have split paths. So if you happen to have the Rush upgrade for that, whether it be the punch one or the flying one, which we'll see when I get it, you will have an advantage because you'll be able to. Yeah, I'm just making sure all my buttons work before I go fight the boost, the boss, the fireman. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die here because I've got half health. So this is what he does. He shoots 3 little fire things. Then he does the thing where he powers through the ground. If you know the spacing of that, you should never take damage for it. So this guy can actually be the easiest one to fight. But if you don't know the spacing, he can be very difficult. The reason I'm doing him first is because we're going to unlock one of the 2 rush modes. That's going to make the rest of this game, I'm not going to say a cakewalk, but it's going to get damn close to a cakewalk. Because behind some of the breakable blocks that you can damage are extra lives, E-tanks, extra power, like health power, that is. Not doing super great. I am fighting him with my buster, though. So like I said, if you know the spacing of that, you're usually pretty good. However, when he shoots his little fire thing, he is invincible to your cannon. So what we're gonna do here is, right before I die, I'm gonna use the C-tank. Literally like 1 second before I'm ready to die, I'm gonna use the C-tank. Just kind of lucky I managed to get that, because I'd be dead now. But yeah, we should be able to beat him now that we've got essentially double health. Though we're not doing super great either with managing the remaining of our health. Dead. Anywho. So again, this game does interesting things with the Mega Man formula. But a lot of... at this point, we've gotten past the point where... okay, I get it. Here's another fireman. Here's another, wood shield. Here's another, etc. Alright, we're gonna go take on the Blizzard Man now. Or Blizzard. Ice is bad against fire, but good against water. And sometimes okay against electricity. Anyways. So, like I said, this is where the game starts getting a little samey. I know they introduce all kinds of interesting things in this game, like the little countdown blocks you just saw. Those are new. I don't know, little flying enemies that can only be damaged. That's a combination of like 2 different things. Only be damaged at certain times. That's a 1-up that I'm just going to ignore because I can't get it. And I died. That's okay. I needed to die anyways. That's something you usually say. But now I got some fresh lives. We'll take on some Blizzard Man again. Blizzard Man's easy too. If you're looking for a good starting robot master, I would go... this is the first time you're playing the game. I would probably go Nightman. Or, yeah, Nightman. Or you could also probably do Blizzard Man without much trouble. Nightman is just... I think he's designed to be the starting robot master that you take on. His stage isn't terribly difficult, and he's very simple as a robot master boss. He doesn't attack nearly as often as he should. Is sort of my complaint there. Again, there's another one, Nightman. That's an interesting concept that they haven't done yet. But again, there's a lot of things in this game that just feel so samey to me. And here's the replacement to Rush. So they give you 2 different rushes. This is Rush, we'll just call Rush Punch. I know it has a more official name than that, but there's Rush Jet and Rush Punch. Rush Punch does essentially that. Rush Jet allows you to jump, and then you do a little bit of a rocket after that, and then eventually you do run out of energy, and you'll have to land to recharge. But there's another reason I did Fireman first, because as you can see, I got the power, rush power for punching, plus I got fire, which allows me to access. So far, I've accessed everything in this stage. I haven't really missed anything yet. These blocks right here, you can punch through as well. So there's not always something behind all these blocks. A lot of them are just empty, but in this case, there is health behind this one. That is inevitable. So, so Proto Man is in this game, but he doesn't really do anything. He does, okay, let's revise that. He does do something, but his role is very limited in comparison to 3, 5, 4 to a lesser degree. He only appears just briefly in 4. But I think he does a little bit more in 4 than he does in this game, but nevertheless, I wouldn't say important, he's just kind of important. We'll get there. So, while there are more bullshit E-Tanks in the Mega Man series, this gets kind of close in terms of being bullshit, because if the boat is up above where the spikes are, you will not take any damage. But anytime that the boat is just low enough, you will immediately die as soon as you come in contact with the spikes, which kind of bullshit. You know, what are you gonna do? I know it's the game, it's the nature of how the game is designed, but so you'll probably notice in the Mega Man 5, I used a lot of Charge Buster, because Charge Buster is super good against everything in that game. You just charge up and you shoot them, and then that's it, they die. But for the most part, not too much to worry about. So you can see he's not super difficult. I mean, obviously what you want to do is you want to slide, but you can see I'm doing, well, I'm using Fireman power as well, so maybe I shouldn't talk, but not terribly difficult to jump over. He's not terribly difficult to slide under his ice attack. I don't know. I just think that the robot masters in this game, I feel, are the easiest ones I've fought. You know, I think obviously I've said before, 4 is probably the toughest. Robot Master for Robot Master, it's probably the toughest. With, you know, obviously Toadman's easy. He's probably one of the easiest Robot Masters you're gonna fight in the whole series. But on the other end, you have to take on Ring Man and Dive Man and Skull Man and even Bright Man to a lesser degree. Those guys are all very difficult to deal with. In other Mega Man games, obviously, some of them have sort of a gimmick to them, like, hey, once you figure out the gimmick, you're more or less going to pwn the shit out of them. But like Windman, even Metal Man can be a little bit difficult if you're learning his thing for the first time. Oh, by the way, this is again a Mega Man enemy that we'll just basically be ignoring because it takes too much damage and too much health to really be worth it. So it makes more sense just to quickly bypass it. You take crash damage, and you just move on with your life because it's not worth spending time to actually fight him. So, much like the eyeball press in the first game, or that big robot jumpy thing in 5, I'll just be ignoring it. It's not worth my time. You see Eddie's back again. He's Mr. Okay, so in Mega Man 5, you would pretty much want to use your Charge Buster on an enemy like this. In this game, using the Rapid, which what I'm doing right now, is much more effective and takes far less time than trying to charge your blaster to defeat him. I think that's my opinion. You Master of Mega Man, that's your opinion. You don't think that, that's fine. I just think that doing what I did there is a lot simpler. It pushes him back. I wouldn't say I take less damage necessarily, but he definitely isn't as close to me. Yeah, we're not pressing the jump button there at all. We don't end up in spikes. If I needed to refill my enemy blaster, I would use that now, but I don't have to do that. Plus, Rush is, again, free. See my little attacks whenever they hit his fist. Push him back a little bit, which is what I want because he's just going to continue to move forward. And the most dangerous attack that I got to deal with is definitely when he fires his little, Mega Man pew blast. So you see he didn't do that very much. I was able to avoid his fist attack, so we're pretty clean on that run. Fucking bugs drive me nuts. Again, we've got guys jumping up from the sewer, from the pit, if you will. So we gotta be aware that that's gonna happen now. And jump only whenever it's good. This is a gimmick that I think is new to this game. I don't remember doing this in the previous game. But this is also fucking obnoxious to deal with. I don't use it very much in this game, so I'm very grateful, but I mean, I appreciate that these things do not close after a certain amount of time of being open, because this very much feels like a Mega Man thing where they would only be open for, say, 5 seconds after you shoot them. So if you want to use the big jump, all you have to do is hold the jump button. So, sort of what I was trying to figure out there. If you want to use small jump, then just don't jump at all. But we're going to be trying to use our big jump going forward here. I do need to get rid of you because I'll take damage and end up in a pit. Jump! Big health. Suck my dick. We made it all the way to the boss. So good. So this is Plant Man. Plant Man has Woodman's power, except he jumps more and doesn't do the... So tell me, who do you think is more difficult to fight here? This guy or Woodman, who also not only has an attack that comes down from the sky, but also has a shield that he throws, in addition to the leaves that come down. He's not near... The Plant Man's a lot more mobile than Woodman is, in terms of he moves a lot more and tries to do crash damage to you. Whereas Woodman stays on one side or the other and beats his chest like an ape. But which would I rather fight? I'd rather fight him every day. And again, now that we've beaten Plant Man and Flame Man, I now have Rush Jet and Rush Punch. Those are all the Rush upgrades. And, as I said before, the Rush upgrades do not cost anything to use. They are free for the most part. They don't take any energy, enemy energy. They're like the rusted robot guy and the little not wooden barrels that can be punched. Boom! Like I said, not everything has stuff behind it. Sometimes it does. This also acts as an attack. So if you really just want to run the game, you could run the game this way. And yes, there was an E-Tank there. Alright, we're going to be switching over to normal power, I guess. Yeah. Thinking of a different area, never mind. Would have known that. Alright, so this is the Met thing. I don't know what you want to call this. If I was smart, I would stand on the ledge to the left and just use my Mega Blaster just to pound the shit out of that. Those guys can just be shot. See? Fun, huh? You like Mets? I like Mets. Hi, Eddie. What do you got for me? Thank you. That was actually useful this time. Sometimes enemy energy can be useful as well. I tend to not use the enemy energy. And here's our first example of a deviation from the main path that requires Mega Man Jet. Well, I'm not sure if all of them require Mega Man Jet. Some of them may require the punch instead, but we're going to deviate. Believe it or not, these levels are actually designed so that there are, in some cases, 2 different entrances to get to the boss. So you may find entrance A that takes you to boss A, and then there may be a different entrance. It's the same boss, but it's a different, like, boss arena, I guess? I don't really know why they did it that way, because it's not in any other Mega Man game. Inevitably, every path, I guess, is sort of like a linear maze where you, regardless, will end up at the same spot either way. This is like a, what do you call those little, like, quarter things? Quarter vending machine. Gotcha. Like a gotcha game, I guess? Is a gotcha game right? No, I don't think that is. You know, where you put a quarter and you turn the thing and you get whatever it gives you. A lot of times there's like a limited number of things you can get. So like, I remember when I was little, there was like a Lucky's Rabbit's Foot in one of them, which is now considered inhumane. Oh, by the way, this is that split path I was talking about. But we did come up here on purpose because we want to shoot through this block, which is going to make me a little nervous here, I think, because I got to go on the ladder here